Hey everybody, Dustin Thompson, Chapter Director for the Sierra Club Delaware chapter back again. So last time we learned about what a tariff is. Quick recap, it's not a tax. Watch the last video for more information. But important question for this one, why do we need to create this new rate class just for data centers? The reason we create new tariffs or new rate classes is because we identify a group or an industry or a customer class that have similar needs that are different from any other rate class that is currently available. That is most certainly the case with these new data centers being proposed in Delaware and across the region. The data centers being built today, as we've talked about in our fact sheets, on our website, and other videos, these are sometimes 100 times the size or far more than the data centers we have built in years past. So, for context, we have 8 data centers in Delaware right now, and they use about 7.8 to 8 megawatts of energy. So that's, a decent amount. Now, there are 6 of these new data centers trying to come to Delaware. Collectively, those 6, again, we have 8 right now, those 6 new ones will collectively use over 2,100 megawatts of energy. So we have 8 right now using about 8 megawatts. We have 6 trying to come, 2,100 megawatts. Just one data center in Newark, one of the smaller of the proposed data center projects, is likely to consume between 100 and 200 megawatts of energy when fully built out. So the scale, the magnitude, it is incomparable to what we have dealt with in the past. And with that comes new, unique needs that the utility can recognize to make sure that the costs of those new types of projects are not unfairly spread to residential customers and other businesses. So, for example, give me an example of these unique needs, right? All right. So, for example, when you're dealing with these really large customers, right, demanding a lot of energy, Delmarva, right, has to contract for more energy, right? They do these contracts in sort of 3-year increments. Contracts are constantly rolling on and off of their books, and they're renegotiating for more contracts each year. They generally go for about 3 years. For residential customers, this is routine. This is something they always do. If you buy power through Delmarva Power, through what's called their standard offer service, meaning you don't use a third-party supplier, which we generally don't recommend to folks most of the time, they go out and they contract for that power. And it's predictable because population growth really doesn't have that large of an impact on how much power we purchase when you compare it to these data centers. So if Delmarva goes out and contracts for power for us, for residential customers, and one of us move out of the state, not a big deal. That doesn't impact the contract, right, that they entered into, because that is negligible in the grand scheme of things. But if Delmarva goes out and buys power and contracts for power for a data center, which uses as much power as an entire town of people, and that data center goes under a year, 2 years later, or their use is dramatically lower than what they said they were going to use, they use less energy, well, somebody's going to have to pay for that energy that Delmarva contracted for. Now, that's a unique need, and that is applicable to all data centers. And so when you have specific needs like that, what we usually do is create this bucket, this tariff, this rate class, for everyone who has those same type of needs. So this is the new industry, so we don't have a bucket yet for them, a rate class, that fits those unique needs for data centers. So that is what we are, or what we should be doing and creating right now. Next up, we're going to talk about what should be in a large load tariff, so stay tuned.